Hi, this is Dr. Dan Langley for another episode of Eye Opening Discussion.
No, it's not. It's I'm not a guru, but. Because I'm taking this over and we're going to discuss today a topic that is lighthearted yet seriously debatable. And we have three people here with different views on something.
I like this.
So,
what's the topic?
Sunscreen.
Sunscreen.
I just came back from Florida and I know probably a little burnt.
Yeah.
And no makeup because I probably can't put it on because I'm sensitive to touch.
Well, you're kind of an expert in this field, right? What was your first business endeavor?
Well, my very first business set up. I franchised.
Us on pizza out of your bedroom at night to little kids in the neighborhood.
That happened. I made money when I was like 7, 8 years old. My parents would order pizza and I'd dry a string on it. Pizza, and I lower it down from the window and sell it to the neighbors. They had to put dollars in it and I pull it back up. That is not a joke.
She's always been this way, folks.
I'm like, how am I going to do this? What are we going to do? So I was going to school I was going to do orthodontics. I wanted to do that. And one of the finals was writing business proposal. Yeah. And I decided to write a business proposal for 24-hour tanning salons. And when I was going to turn it in at class, I decided to drop it off at 3 banks. 2 of the banks called within a week and told me I was approved. I had an SBA loan. My father was a banker and said, no, not tanning salons. I repossess those all the time, which only motivated me more. And so... Listen, parents, do not tell your kids to not do something. They will do the opposite. I definitely leaned into it at that point. That became the first 24-hour tanning salon ever, which people thought was strange and ended up doing just fine. Yeah. And so in that process, I learned a lot about skincare and hundreds of tanning beds, and a lot of you are anti that. But when it comes to sunscreen is important. And before I tell you about my background with the educational side of it, we had just talked about using SPF. And you use it on a regular basis. Obviously, your skin's glowing, beautiful. It's awesome. And so you put it on every day.
Yeah. I have a sunscreen. So my makeup is a SPF 30 tinted moisturizer, Geo foundation, and then I put sunscreen under.
That's like a mineral foundation.
It's like a mineral foundation, and then I have a SPF 50 that goes under.
So where did you decide to start taking such, as we'd say, the idea of taking care of your skin?
I mean, this is probably recent. Yeah. I'm 22.
Yeah.
It's better to start earlier than later because I want to keep my skin as healthy for as long as I possibly can.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure there's so much research out there that I'm missing, and I still have so much research to do.
Sure.
But I kind of was just like, okay, let's just start with sunscreen because that's really important. But there's also really bad sunscreens out there filled with chemicals, filled with just all these additives that you don't need that are actually harming your skin more than protecting it. So that's also research that I went into.
Smart girl.
And so I'm like, okay, mineral-based sunscreens are my way to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I've done a lot of research about those, but I'm like, I don't like the way it feels. The pilly feeling, the heavy, just like, and most sunscreen are like that.
What would be the product that's in that causes that filmy, weird, that's not mineral?
Oh, it'll be like petroleum products?
Yeah.
And that range. It's just, there's a lot of, I'm saying no freaking expert.
Well, I like the fact that you take care of your skin, and I like the fact that you are using non-petroleum based products. I was just curious as to, is it the media that says the sun is bad, you need to protect yourself at all times from the sun?
The sun is bad for you.
Dangerous rays.
Silent killer.
Stay inside.
Yes.
I mean, is that true? Meaning that, is the sun bad for us, right? Because if we get to the core, is the sun bad for us?
I think the sun is great, and I think it's so important. This is my opinion. I think it's so important to go outside and get sun. Even ever since I started working my first 9 to 5 ever in my life, I'm like, I need sun. Walk outside. I just need to be in the sun. I'm not the person, there are so many health gurus that I listen to, and they're like, no sun ever, like always guarding.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call them, health gurus, right? Because they're saying if they're saying without a clear understanding of the benefits that the sun gives, that you need to protect yourself at all costs from the sun, I think they may be buying into a distorted view of the whole truth, right? The sun is what kind of creates everything here on this planet.
Yeah.
Right? Some people might say that it created the Earth as it produced the molecules that then coalesce to create the Earth, right? And no life on this planet would exist without the sun. The atmosphere wouldn't exist.
100%.
Nothing on this planet would be as it is. And so how could the sun be bad for us? Just from that basic kind of common sense.
Yeah.
But we've been kind of convinced that the sun is bad for us. And then we have to ask, well, why? When did that occur? When did that occur that they said, oh, you have to hide from the sun. You have to protect yourself from the sun. And who presented that idea in the psyche of humanity?
I think that's really interesting. I've never thought about it in that way. And I definitely, there's so many benefits to the sun. And I think for me, it's like, I love to be in the sun. Like, I want to be in the sun as much as I can, but I'm going to try to protect myself.
No,
like,
for sure.
In the sun.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, so I said, it's like, when you say, oh, I'm going to protect myself, say, well, protect yourself from what? And it's not putting you on the spot. It's simply saying that when the ideas that we get sometimes, we have to then question, well, what is the source of this knowledge that we're getting? And then looking at that knowledge, that information from different perspectives, we can then kind of develop a level of understanding about that knowledge. And then we can then apply that knowledge. So I commend you for taking the knowledge that you have and then say, okay, I'm going to protect myself from something that I think is a threat to my well-being. And so, but when Brooke and I were talking before, we had talked about, the need for sunscreen and whether that's real or not, and where did that come up, and when did the rates of skin cancer start increasing? And it seemed to be, go ahead, Brooke.
So I'm going back to the tanning salon days. So whenever it started taking off, tanning salons were everywhere, and I had this one. And then I ended up like top whatever, and I got to go and share a stage with someone named Dr. Hollick. And Dr. Hollick was pushing the fact that he's a vitamin D research, and he's putting the fact that the more sunscreen that we're putting on our body, the higher the cancer rates going up. Not to say you don't need overexposure in a tanning bed. That's not what I'm saying. Everything's moderation. I preach that all the time. But the difference is we got into this united front where SPF was being pushed by Neutrogena was backing all the research because of their products and what they were trying to put out there. But the difference is if
what is in Neutrogena? Are there any petroleum products in Neutrogena?
There are. And so if you go and you start doing research, and it's changed a little bit in the days when the mineral is the way to go.
Yeah.
But you're slathering this protectant on your skin that is, reflecting, revolting, however you want to say it, and the vitamin D absorption that you need for your bones, for your health, for your mental stability. And then on top of that, you're slathering a chemical that causes the cancer directly onto the skin, right where it starts to develop. And so not that you need to burn, not that you need to do this, but this Dr. Hollick, he was out there with everyone coming after him because of where his stance was. And it was really easy to get behind him because it made sense. Since then, as far as I know, he's still alive today. I'm sure he's had a couple birthdays. But when you get behind it, there is no doubt that there is proven documentation that some of these products that you're using causes more harm than health.
That is so interesting. And I mean, I would love to dive deeper into that because I'm all about learning more in different perspectives because I'm not set on one thing. It's like, I think for me, it's like I kind of learn something and I'm like, I'm an easy follower. I'm just I get stuff into it. We are. So, but that makes a good point. And I will say if it's not mineral based and if it's filled with all those chemicals and stuff, I'm not putting it on my body.
Yeah.
So if I had to choose between straight up sun or chemical, I'm choosing.
And the sunscreen thread, if you start pulling out, it starts to kind of unravel a much, much larger tapestry. And that goes back to, the early 1900s where we were convinced that through scientific evidence that petroleum was a naturally occurring or was a natural byproduct of the degradation of the previous animal and plant and animal life on there. And so that petroleum was actually apologize, we have to cut this pause out while I search my memory banks for this. Yeah. Was it organic? There was a convention where all the local scientists at the time were meeting, and the petroleum scientists had presented their research that showed that petroleum comes from the fossilized remains of plant and animal life. Now, this was just a theory at the time, but this was the theory that they put forth. And if you have enough support behind that, in terms of lobbyists or money or whatnot, then that support kind of gains credibility, right? In the scientific community.
Yeah.
It's still just a theory. It's not been proven yet. What we think today is like, if you'd ask 1,000 people, 999 would probably say, oh, no, petroleum is from dead animals and dead plants. But that's just a theory that's not been proven. There's another theory called the abiotic genesis theory of petroleum, which shows that petroleum is just a natural byproduct of the Earth's functioning, right? Not from dead animals. And so that it's always renewing itself. It's always generating itself. Just like our body produces oils, the Earth produces oils, not from the dead decaying matter of other things within that. And since we are simply just a white blood cell of the planet is, as we call it, as above, so below, the law of correspondence. The Earth is basically just a larger version of us, right? We have trillions of other organisms living inside us, just like the Earth has trillions of other organisms living on and inside itself as well. And so the abiotic theory would then say that petroleum is not biocompatible with organic tissues. So how do you convince people that which would mean that it's not safe for biological tissues? How do you then convince the public that it is safe? You simply say, no, it is organic. Here's the studies that show that it's organic, right? But that's just the theory. And so if you hard stop, if you say, okay, wait a second. So now if we now say that, is it possible that petroleum is good for energy, producing energy? Because everything in the universe is energy anyway. That we find that we use this for combustion, et cetera, and then it produces energy which can help move technology forward. Sure, I'm not saying that petroleum is bad. I'm simply saying that's not biocompatible. But I will yield the floor.
No, you don't have to yield.
No, I mean, I like that topic a lot, and I definitely think your opinion on that is surfacing big time right now in the health and wellness industry. And I think people are kind of realizing that within the pharmaceutical industry that is, I mean, I didn't know that exact stat, but I knew that there are definitely issues within it. And
so I think an alternative might be to say, like, okay, hey, we might need medicines that make our body more ease-filled, less dis-ease. Well, what does the planet do? It produces, herbs and spices, 11 of them, in fact. Yeah, right. It's a hit for him. She's a tough crowd. But it creates trees with all sorts of fruits or whatnot. And so is the solution to some of what causes our dis-ease the fact that we are consuming things that cause us dis-ease? And if 99% of the stuff that we take into our body is tainted, tainted with petroleum chemicals, then is it any wonder that something that might not cause ease in our body, if we take it in unknowingly, that we might get these diseases? And that if we then have these diseases, that the treatment to those diseases might not be consumption of the same chemicals that gave us the diseases in the first place? Could an alternative be, what does the Earth do? What does the Earth do to keep itself at ease? Well, when the Earth is at ease, it produces fruit, it produces vegetation, it produces animals. And so could the medications be found in plants and fruits, and other minerals? We use minerals. Could the solution to the skin cancer epidemic be mineral-based petroleum products? Mineral-based sunscreens, such as that mixed with coconut oil, or even if you're okay with using the animals to kind of give us protection as well, is beef tallow and mineral sunscreen. That's becoming very popular.
That's a new buzz.
Yeah, and I'm not saying they're not endorsing anything. I'm simply saying that those are products that are biocompatible with the earth, and we forget that we are a white blood cell of the earth, right?
Well, hang on.
Right.
So go back to let's go by this.
If I miss,
Yeah.
you gotta give me the buzzer again.
No doubt. And so, but the earth, we are a representation of what the earth is.
Yes.
Regenerative. Our hair, it falls out, it grows again.
Yep.
Our skin is made to darken to protect ourselves.
Yes.
There's a reason all across the world people are different shades because they're exposed a little bit more.
Have different angles.
Heal itself.
Yes.
We allow it.
Yes.
And so all I am saying now is when it comes to SPF, you get to know by mantra. If you're sore, you need to get out. If you're red, you need to remove yourself. If you want to do a protectant, whether it's mineral or not, it's what you're putting on your body. But really, we are made to be in moderation. There's a reason that you have to have water to grow. There's a reason that you have exposure to protect. Like right now, what we're so busy is in product and placement and pharmaceuticals, whether it's over the counter or prescribed. It's creating a scarcity, a fear, a need.
Well, so think about it. So think about all the diseases or problems, mental conditions that have been created by our fear of the sun, right?
Well, what's the fear? It's cancer?
No, what I'm saying is,
Aging.
what I'm saying, what I'm saying, well, that's to say that, and what's causing the aging? Is it the sun or the crappy nutrition?
I hate to tell you this, you're going to have birthdays. You're going to age.
No, I understand that, but your skin can still remain resilient if your nutrition is good, right?
Correct.
So you get melanin production, but if your diet is on point and you scrub off all the dead stuff, then your bodies can produce melanin to protect you, and you're going to have this glow about you. But if your the organ is busy excreting all these poisons
Not repair.
that are then baked into your skin or collected on your skin, and then your mouth tube, your gut tube is completely blocked up with sewage from pesticide products and plastics and things like that, then how can your body be in an ease state, right? And so I think the solutions to a lot of our diseases that we have is to simply say, okay, what is the planet doing? And recognizing that we're a white blood cell of the planet. And again, that's kind of a concept that seems pretty self-evident, but we forget about that. It's like we are. It's like, what do apple trees do? They produce apples. Well, what does the earth do? It peoples. It makes people, right? Right? And so we are the fruit of the planet.
Yeah.
Right? And I thought that was I can't remember at the top of my head, I can't remember who said that, but I thought it was a brilliant analogy. And so if we then say, okay, is the fruit of a apple tree different from the tree itself? No, it's the same tree. So is the people fruit of the earth different from the earth? The answer is no. You know, our blood plasma is like 98 or 99% similar to salt water, right? Is that by accident? No, it's because we were born of the earth that's like 70% water and salt water at that. And so then we recognize, oh, wait a second, we're a mineral being. And so we then say, well, are the solutions to our disease states found in the earth itself? And not just the byproduct of the earth's functioning? It's like, one might even think that the petroleum products could even be like the waste products of the earth. Not to say that completely useless, but maybe it's like not the form of life. It's not the growing part of life, but it's the dying part of life. That's the process. Like it's the opposite of that. It's not the decaying of the animals, but it's a different process that the earth kind of goes through. It's like the poop cycle of the fact that the earth produces all this life. And so it's not from the decay of that life. That decay of that life yields other life. So let's make sure that we understand that the death and decay of plants and animals create other plants and animals, not cause the death of those, right?
We can go down a whole rabbit hole about how we bury people now and how we used to and how it stops foods.
I'm sorry, I talked too much.
No, I'm like, we can, that's definitely a subject. I think that's...
I'm not guru, right?
This is, I would say, Brindley, you're 20 years ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because it took an additional 20 years to stop slathering these new products on our skin, on our kids' skin, that you start using a mineral type base. And then it'll even be better when you have children, and it may come around. But ultimately, the thing that this world is missing is due diligence in themselves.
I agree.
In figuring it out, where it comes from, what the end result was. And really, we have common sense. If you think it through and you think of our ancestors and the exposure that they had to sun and the cancer rate, people will argue about the ozone layer and how strong it is and this sort of thing. But you start looking at broken bones. You start looking at health, longevity, all the stuff. or just simply how you feel when you have exposure to sun. When it's been raining nonstop and you need to go out there and you need to energize.
You get supercharged.
Yeah, you get supercharged. You do.
You know, there's a technique that you can use to get it supercharged real quick.
Oh gosh, I don't know.
I think I know what
Yeah,
to say. Yeah.
What is it?
Sun in your chocolate starfish.
No.
Let's get a direct jolt of energy up there.
Oh. This would be a shocker moment.
Yeah.
No, I think it's funny. I think it's
Yeah, we talked about that in our previous episode, right?
I did.
Hey, well, part of what you
Because you think that's Finn, your whole organ. You think that's the place that needs the sun the most.
no, it's just a point that a place that never gets sun, so it's like it supercharges it right away.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Interesting. Well, you just supercharge yourself. Huh? Just like, I don't know.
Well, so thank you for joining us for another stimulating episode of I'm Not a Guru, but and hopefully you've learned something here that sometimes the truth isn't what it seems, and that verifying the truth and looking at considering other perspectives could be the key that unlocks your true potential and unleashes your full potential. So, did I say that twice?
Okay. It's a potential.
Unlocks your true purpose and unleashes your full potential. So join us next time.